That's such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? Let's learn how to build a Paw Patrol Tower.
Round 1.
I start my Paw Patrol Tower from the bottom because a tall tower needs a stable base, or it looks like it can fall over. First, I make one of the lower buildings. I use mostly white concrete for the walls, because this block looks clean and smooth, and the real Paw Patrol style has bright, simple colors that are easy to read. I also add yellow concrete and red concrete on some parts of the walls. Yellow and red are good accent colors because they stand out on white and make the base look more playful, like a cartoon headquarters instead of a normal house. I keep the shape simple and boxy because a support building should not steal attention from the tower above it. On top, I make the roof from red concrete. Red is a strong color for a roof here because it gives the build a clear top edge and matches the bright rescue team theme. A roof also matters for the silhouette. Even in Minecraft, the outline of a building helps people understand what kind of place it is from far away. Now I go to the left side and build another lower building that looks almost the same. I do that because matching buildings on both sides make the front feel balanced. Symmetry is a very useful design idea for headquarters, towers, and castles because it makes the whole place feel planned and organized. If one side had a building and the other side was empty, the tower would feel lopsided and a bit strange. I use white concrete again as the main wall block, so both sections clearly belong together. Then I repeat the yellow concrete and red concrete accents to keep the same color language. When a build repeats the same colors in different parts, the eye understands that all of it is one building and not random pieces placed near each other. I also put the same red concrete roof on top. Repeating the roof shape and color is important because it ties the two side buildings together like twins. The base is already starting to look like a real Paw Patrol station, and not just two little houses. After both side buildings are done, I start filling the space between them. I use white concrete in the middle because the front of the base should look connected, and white keeps everything bright and clean. If I left a gap there, the lower part would look broken into separate pieces. By joining them, I make one proper ground floor for the tower. On the front side of this middle section, I place light blue glass panes. Glass panes are better than full glass blocks because they are thinner and look more like real windows. I pick light blue because that color feels friendly and modern, and it fits the Paw Patrol look really well. Blue glass also works nicely with the white walls because cool colors make buildings feel fresh and open. Big front windows are useful in design because they show where the main face of the building is. They also help a cartoon rescue headquarters look more advanced, like there could be screens, lights, and control desks inside, instead of a dark, empty room. Now I finally start building the main tower part. I raise it up from the lower base so it stands clearly above the side buildings. A tower needs vertical lines because height is the whole point. If it stays too short, it just looks like a stack of rooms. I use light blue concrete on the front because I want the tower to stand out from the white base and look more high-tech. Light blue is a really good main color here because it feels like sky, glass, and modern plastic all at once. That kind of color makes a cartoon rescue tower look futuristic without needing too many complicated details. I keep the shape straight and tall because simple geometry is easier to read, especially for younger viewers. A clear vertical shaft also helps with visual physics. The thicker base below makes it feel like the lower buildings are supporting the tall central part. This makes the whole tower look more believable, even if it is a bright cartoon building with giant colorful walls and not a real-world office tower. At the top of the tall shaft, I build a wider platform from light blue concrete. This is a smart shape because when the top spreads out wider than the middle, the tower starts looking more like the real Paw Patrol lookout. A wider platform also gives more room for a top room, fences, and extra details later. Light blue concrete is still my main choice because it keeps the upper section connected to the tower shaft below. If I suddenly change to a very different block, the top might feel glued on instead of built as part of one design. The wider platform also helps visually by making the tower more interesting. A straight stick shape all the way up can feel boring. When the form changes near the top, the silhouette gets much better. This is one of those easy building tricks that makes a structure feel more designed. Big buildings usually need at least one place where the shape changes. Otherwise, the eye has nothing special to remember. Inside the tower, I place ladders so there is a way to climb all the way up. A tall building needs movement inside, not just pretty walls outside. Ladders are a simple solution because they use little space. If I built full staircases in a narrow tower, the inside could get crowded very fast. makes sense for vertical rescue towers too, because they feel quick and practical, like the pups can rush upward to the lookout room. This is a useful thing in building design. The inside route should match the shape of the structure. Narrow towers often use ladders or spiral stairs because straight stairs eat too much room. I keep the inside simple, so the vertical path is easy to understand. Good circulation is important, even in a cartoon build. If players cannot tell how someone gets to the top, the building feels less complete. Now the tower has a real path from the base to the upper area, and that makes it feel more like a headquarters that can actually be used. I keep working on the top platform and add yellow concrete there. Yellow is a great accent at the top because bright warm colors naturally pull the eye upward. That means the platform becomes more noticeable and more important, which is exactly what I want. The top of a rescue tower should feel special because it is the lookout area. Then I place acacia fences around the edges. Acacia has an orange tone, and that warm color fits really nicely with the yellow and red parts of the build. Fences are useful because they create safety rails without blocking the view too much. A top platform needs barriers, especially if it is supposed to be used by characters watching the city from above. Thin fence pieces are much better than full walls for that. They keep the space open and airy. This is another little design rule that works well. If a platform is for looking out, the edge should protect people, but still let them see the world around them. On top of that platform, I build another room. I make the walls from light blue glass so the room feels like a lookout cabin with wide views in every direction. Glass is perfect for a top control room because the whole point is seeing outside. Light blue glass also keeps the room matching the rest of the tower and makes it look soft and futuristic instead of hard and heavy. For the roof, I use red concrete again. Repeating red on the roof is a good idea because it connects the top room to the lower buildings and makes the whole headquarters feel like one family of shapes. A bright roof also makes the very top easy to notice from far away. At the entrance, I place doors so the room feels finished and properly enclosed. Doors matter because they show where people enter, and they make the tower look functional. Now, my Paw Patrol Tower has the base buildings, the tall central shaft, the wide platform, the lookout room, and a clear, colorful style from bottom to top. Phew, it took so much effort. Great! My Paw Patrol Tower is ready.
Oh, wow!
Juhu! We're going to build a Paw Patrol Tower today. I love building all kinds of buildings. Mikey has probably already built his Paw Patrol Tower. Let's have a look. Mikey, is that all you've built in that time? Are you sure this is a Paw Patrol Tower?
JJ, you only know how to offend me. By the way, I tried very hard.
Mikey, your tower doesn't look much like the headquarters of the heroes. It looks more like some kind of carousel.
Oh, that's it! Stop judging! Maybe then you'll show me how to build a Paw Patrol Tower.
Of course, we ran to the place.
JJ, I'm not sure you're going to make it. But in any case, good luck to you. I'll wait for you at the house.
Thanks, then I'll start. Round 2. I begin with the entrance zone of the Paw Patrol Tower because the entrance is the first thing visitors understand. If the front is clear and colorful, the whole headquarters becomes easier to read immediately. I use light blue concrete and blue concrete for this part. Light blue gives a friendly, bright, high-tech feeling, while the darker blue adds contrast and helps define edges. In cartoon architecture, clear color separation is very useful because children can recognize shapes faster when one area stands out from another. I keep the forms broad and simple instead of overly detailed. A rescue headquarters should feel welcoming and organized, not cluttered. The blue colors also connect to the sky and to technology, which is why they fit a tower like this so well. Starting with the entrance is also practical from a planning perspective. Once the front access point is defined, it becomes much easier to align the lower side structures and the main tower above them. Good buildings often start by solving how people arrive, and that is exactly what I am doing here. Next, I build the lower side sections of the tower, one on each side, using yellow concrete and red concrete first, then filling the remaining larger wall areas with white concrete. This combination follows a very smart visual hierarchy. White concrete works best as the main wall material because it is clean, neutral, and easy on the eyes. Red and yellow are much stronger colors, so I use them as accents to guide attention to important parts of the facade. This is a basic but powerful design lesson. Bright colors are usually more effective in smaller controlled areas than when they cover everything. If the whole base were red and yellow, the building would become noisy. White gives the eye a place to rest and makes the rescue theme colors look even brighter. I mirror the side sections so the entrance stays centered and balanced. Symmetry is especially important for headquarters buildings because it makes them feel official and dependable. When both sides match, the center naturally feels like the correct place to enter. In the door areas, I fill the open spaces with light blue glass. This is a very useful material choice because glass keeps the entrance looking open and modern while still marking a clear boundary between outside and inside. Light blue glass also continues the main color story from the front entrance, so the lower level remains visually connected. Transparent materials are valuable in public buildings because they make the space feel safer and easier to understand. You can imagine people inside, light passing through, and movement near the doors. That is much friendlier than a solid wall. After that, I move inside and replace the dirt floor with a checkerboard pattern of blue concrete and light blue concrete. A checkerboard floor works well here because it gives the interior energy without needing many extra decorations. Using two related colors keeps the pattern playful but not chaotic. This is a good flooring strategy for themed buildings. A floor can support the identity of the place while still staying simple enough to walk across comfortably. With the base established, I begin the main tower itself. I start from the front face because that side carries the most identity. I use light blue concrete as the main wall material on the front. This color helps the tower feel like a clean, modern observation structure rather than a plain apartment block. The next major step is the Paw Patrol emblem. I build it on the front using yellow terracotta, red concrete, and white concrete. This emblem is very important because logos are visual shortcuts. A child should be able to look at the tower and recognize it before seeing any interior details. I choose yellow terracotta for part of the sign because it has a slightly softer texture than concrete, which helps some pieces of the emblem stand apart without changing the color too much. Red and white give clear contrast and complete the classic badge look. Building a logo on a facade also teaches a good design principle. Branding should sit where the eye naturally goes first, and on a tower that means the front upper area. After the emblem is complete, I fill the remaining open areas of the front wall with light blue glass. This creates the look of a giant observation window and gives the tower that smooth, futuristic cartoon style. Large window areas are especially suitable for lookout towers because they suggest visibility, awareness, and control. In real architecture, a command center often uses wide glazing so the people inside can see what is happening around them. Here, that same idea makes the build more believable. Then I move to the other sides and build them mostly from white concrete. This is a deliberate contrast choice. The front is the most expressive side, so it gets the big logo and glass. The side and rear walls should support that hero facade rather than compete with it. White also helps reflect light and keeps the tower from feeling too heavy. A tall, all-blue structure might look solid, but adding white on the sides keeps the build brighter and more readable from every angle. especially in daylight. To save time on the large rear wall, I use a command to fill it in. Commands are very useful on large, repetitive surfaces because they let me keep the proportions exact and avoid small placement mistakes. The design decision still matters just as much. I choose white concrete for the rear so the tower keeps the same clean side and back identity. After the main walls are complete, I start building the next room above. Here, I use layered bands of blue concrete, then light blue concrete, then yellow, and then blue again. This stacked color arrangement is not random. Horizontal color bands create visual separation between floors and make the tower look more advanced, almost like different levels of a machine. They also help the eye read the building's height in clear sections. This is useful for tall structures. Instead of one endless wall, the viewer sees organized layers. Each color has a role. Blue frames and grounds the section. Light blue softens it, and yellow adds a playful highlight tied to the brand palette below. Above those color layers, I place glass and then build the roof from red concrete. Glass is important at this level because the upper room should still feel open and observant. A lookout tower needs strong visibility, and transparency is one of the easiest ways to communicate that. The red concrete roof gives the top a clear cap and ties the uppermost room back to the red accents used lower down. Roof color repetition is a strong design tool because it unifies different sections of a tall building. If every level had a different roof color, the tower would feel messy. A single repeated roof color creates order. On top of the roof, I build a telescope-like viewing tube from yellow concrete and glass. Yellow is ideal here because it makes the telescope stand out as an important tool, and glass at the end suggests a lens. A telescope also reinforces the whole purpose of the tower. This is not just a tall building. It is a lookout and command center designed for seeing danger from far away. With the tower itself mostly complete, I shift attention to the land around it. I mark the boundaries of the Paw Patrol headquarters territory on the ground using white concrete. This is an important planning step because every major building needs a site, not just a shell. Defining the territory helps the headquarters feel like a real base with controlled space around it. White concrete works well for the outline because it is easy to see against grass, and it connects visually with the white walls of the building. Once the boundary is set, I change the ground inside the front area to green concrete and the other surrounding sections inside the territory to lime concrete. This color zoning makes the site feel landscaped and playful. Using 2 close shades of green is effective because one can act like a highlighted lawn or central activity area, while the other works as the wider yard. In environmental design, changing ground colors is a simple way to organize space without needing lots of fences or extra buildings. At the main entrance, I place doors. This may sound small compared to the huge tower, but doors are crucial because they explain exactly where the transition from outside to inside happens. A headquarters should never leave visitors guessing where to go. After that, I move inside and complete the floors that the tower needs. Then I install a spiral staircase. A spiral staircase is a very efficient solution for tall, narrow structures because it allows vertical movement while using much less floor space than a broad, straight staircase. This matters a lot in a tower. The interior needs to stay open enough for rooms, furniture, and circulation. I continue adding the remaining floors around the staircase so the whole tower becomes usable from bottom to top. This is one of the most important structural moments in the build. Without internal levels and a clear vertical route, the tower would only look complete on the outside. Once the floors and stairs are in place, it becomes a real multi-level headquarters instead of just a colorful shell. It is high time for furniture. I begin furnishing the interior with beds of different colors and blue carpets. The colored beds are a very smart choice for a Paw Patrol base because they make the rooms feel playful and personal, almost as if different team members could each have their own sleeping area. Blue carpets connect the furniture to the overall color palette of the tower and make the floors feel softer and more comfortable than plain concrete. Carpets are important in interior design because they define zones and help large rooms feel less empty. I place the beds in a clear arrangement so movement remains easy. Good furniture placement is not just about filling space. It is about leaving room to walk, turn, and understand the layout. By combining bright beds with cool blue floor accents, I keep the interior consistent with the cheerful rescue theme. The building now feels lived in and active rather than purely decorative, which is very important for a headquarters meant to house and support a team. On the top floor, I create the command area. I place a chair and a table with a computer because the uppermost room should feel like the brain of the whole tower. A lookout headquarters needs a place where information is checked, plans are made, and missions are watched from above. The chair clearly shows where the operator would sit, and the computer tells the viewer that this room is about coordination and communication rather than sleeping or storage. I also place many chests here. Chests are practical because a command level would need supplies, tools, reports, and emergency equipment close at hand. Storage near the control desk makes the room feel more useful and organized. In building design, upper command rooms often combine observation with management, so mixing technology and storage is a logical choice. The top floor now has a strong function that matches its location. The highest room is not wasted. It becomes the control center of the entire Paw Patrol Tower. For the final step, I create a passage from the top room up to the inside of the viewing tube and add ladders there. This connection is extremely important because the telescope at the top should not be only a decoration. A good build becomes more believable when special exterior features can actually be reached from inside. By making a path to the tube, I turn it into a usable observation point. Ladders are the right choice because the final space is narrow and vertical. A staircase would take too much room and feel clumsy. This last route also teaches a useful design lesson. Whenever a structure has a very special top feature, there should be an understandable way to access it. Otherwise, it feels fake. Now the tower works from bottom to top. The grounds are organized, the lower base is bright and welcoming, the central shaft is functional, the rooms are furnished. Great! My Paw Patrol Tower is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
Wow, JJ, you've got such a realistic and multifunctional Paw Patrol Tower. I think it's definitely possible for someone who would like to be a hero to live in it.
Thank you, Mikey. I am very glad that you like my building. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.